My name is Tess. I'm the Vice Principal at Jewett Elementary School, and I'm also the coordinator for the two-way Spanish immersion program. I will be your virtual tour guide today. I'd like to give you an overview of our program before I delve into specifics. Our program is a magnet strand within Jewett Elementary School, which means 30% of the students at our school are part of our two-way Spanish immersion program. 50% of the students in each classroom are native Spanish speakers, and 50% of the students in each classroom are native English speakers. We run a 90-10 two-way immersion model, which means that in kindergarten, 90% of the instructional day is spent in Spanish, and 10% of the instructional day is spent in English. That changes by 10% each year, meaning that in first grade, 80% of the instructional day is in Spanish and 20% in English. Second grade is 70% of the instructional day in Spanish, 30% in English, and so on. Fourth and fifth grade are both 50-50, meaning that half of the instructional day is in each language. Literacy instruction is in Spanish in kindergarten and first grades. That builds a strong foundation of transferable skills. When students arrive to second grade, they are able to take the skills that they have learned as far as how reading works in kindergarten and first grade and apply them to second grade material and the English language. One of the most frequent questions we get as a two-way language immersion program is, how will my student who doesn't know Spanish understand what's happening in the classroom? I'm going to put a short video clip of one of our kindergarten teachers in here so you can see what comprehensible input looks like. That means that the student's going to understand what the teacher is saying, even if it's unfamiliar vocabulary. We also use a strategy called peer observation. This means that students may not understand everything that's happening in the classroom, but because half the students speak each language, if the teacher is speaking in an unfamiliar language, they simply copy the actions of their peers.
Hoy es viernes. Ayúdame. Hoy es viernes. El 10 de abril del 2020. Muy bien. Entonces ahora vamos a cantar la canción de los meses, porque yo pienso que es muy importante saber. ¿Tú puedes sentar? Todos estamos sentados. Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo. Un minuto. Junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. Estos son los 12 meses del año. Estos son los 12 meses. Ahora, ¿pueden levantar, por favor? En 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Esta vez más rápido. Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. Estos son los 12 meses del año. Estos son los 12 meses del año. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. ¡Woohoo! ¡Excelente trabajo! Ahora yo quiero leer 2 más toodles que tengo en mi sobre. Estos me hacen muy feliz leer lo que dijeron ustedes. Dice, esto viene de Carmen y dice, Lady, me gusta tu camisa. Y yo voy a decir gracias. Esto dice follow the sun. Cuando nosotros estamos tristes, nosotros podemos ver afuera y buscar el sol. Y sabemos que sol más agua es igual a arco iris y unicornios. Entonces a mí me gusta. Mira la escritura, con permiso, la escritura de Carmen. Excelente trabajo. Gracias, Carmen. También yo tengo, es una sorpresa, yo no sé de quién es. Dice mi nombre, dice Liri, y atrás dice amable y bonita. Oh, muchas gracias. Yo no sé quién me escribió esto, pero me hace mi corazón así. Excelente, gracias amigos. Ahora yo quiero ver si ustedes me pueden decir unas rimas. Entonces yo voy a decir esto primero a ustedes. Tengo silla, Silla rima con ardilla. ¿Por qué? Porque ya. Muy bien. León rima con botón. Porque on. Muy bien. Mano, tal vez, mano rima con gusano. Porque... ¿Dijiste no? Excelente trabajo.
You'll notice that a typical day in a two-way Spanish immersion kindergarten is very similar to a typical day in any kindergarten. These students come in, they'll have a warm-up, some morning work, some calendar perhaps. Then they'll move into Spanish language arts. They'll do that until about 9:30 in rotating small group centers. At 9:30, they'll get a fruit or vegetable snack, and then they head out to recess until 10 o'clock. When they come back in at 10 o'clock, they'll start math centers. They'll rotate through those based on student choice. They might also do some unit studies, some arts, some crafts, that type of thing. At 11:30, they will head to lunch, and then they head out for recess time until 12:30. From 12:30 until 1:15, students are engaged in unit study work, in reading, in outdoor classroom time, in specials, in some of those unique learning environments that make Jewett who we are. They have a third recess from 1:15 to 1:30, and then they have developmental playtime from 1:30 until 2:15 when the school day ends. Here are some short video clips that show you what early literacy and mathematics look like in a two-way Spanish immersion kindergarten classroom.
Jasper, ¿te gusta comer el pollo?
No, porque yo tengo uno aquí. Ama a Ana. Papá ama a Ana. Ana ama a mamá y a papá. Mamá agarra la taza. Papá agarra la taza. En español,
¿Cuántos tienes?
dos.
¿Más? ¿Cómo van a agrupar los palitos?
Tengo los ojos. Yes. Y hay 12.
Just like any kindergarten student, your student will come home tired the first 3 months of school as they adapt to a new routine. This is especially pronounced in our two-way Spanish immersion students because their brain is working twice as hard to understand both language and kindergarten content. This might mean they go back to taking naps or they need some extra time and space to decompress at the end of the day. The second most common question we get about our two-way Spanish immersion program is how to support your student if you are a monolingual English speaker. There are a number of ways to support your student, but one of the most important ways is to attend and participate in our community nights and other community events. This is where you'll learn more about second language acquisition. You and your student will be exposed to both English and Spanish, and you can model language learning for your student. Another important piece is to speak positively about language learning, challenges, and growth that they might face as they traverse the program. There are several important parent responsibilities and commitments our families make when they decide to be part of the two-way Spanish immersion program. Families commit to long-term participation in an immersion program. That's a minimum of a 6-year commitment. Because our students learn to read in Spanish, we can't simply move them out of a Spanish class into an English class and be setting them up for success. Another important parent responsibility is supporting regular attendance and taking advantage of additional opportunities like our Summer Bridge program and our parent community nights. It's important to develop an understanding of immersion education and to read with your child in your home language for 20 to 30 minutes every day. If possible, please encourage the use of the target language, which is Spanish, outside of school. Provide community support, and whenever possible, we love volunteers here at Jewett. Remember, we'll be enjoying the challenges and celebrating the results together. Some other frequently asked questions are, who can apply for this two-way immersion program? Anyone that lives in the Rogue Valley can apply for Jewett's two-way Spanish immersion program. If you don't live in the Jewett attendance area or you don't live in the Central Point School District, you'll want to reach out to Tess for more information on how to enroll your child. Do we provide transportation? Of course we do. We provide transportation for any student within the school district. So if you live in any school boundary within the Central Point School District, we will provide transportation both before and after school for your child. Another question we often hear is, what about siblings? Siblings are guaranteed a spot in our two-way Spanish immersion program. So once one child is admitted to the program, the other children will have a guaranteed spot. Please feel free to reach out with any questions or concerns you might have about the application process, about the program. My information is on the screen, and I encourage you to reach out. Thank you so much for watching the virtual tour of Jewett's two-way Spanish immersion program. On the Jewett Elementary website, you will find our two-way Spanish immersion program application linked. Please go ahead and fill out that application if you are interested in applying for our program.